I guess I should get onto Twitch then. Kind of forgot about that part.
All right, we should be live here. We're just starting up. Episode 13 of The Living Force. Should we be worried that it's number 13?
No.
No?
We're good.
You think we're alright?
Yeah. I hope Twitch wants to work for me today.
Yeah, Twitch wasn't working very well yesterday at all, so.
It was giving me the green screen the other day.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, it's not doing anything for me right now.
That's weird. Mine's definitely showing live.
No,
Let's
hold
see.
on.
Yep, still definitely showing live. I'm not even sure if anyone's here. There's Smokey. We got people. The great and all-powerful TGO. You must have an echo going on. Let me see if I can fix that.
I haven't said anything to have an echo.
Maybe you're just great and powerful and I'm unaware.
The channel is the Living Force Cast, or the Living Force Cast, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, there we go.
Oh, all right. Well, how you doing today, TGO?
Doing all right. Had a busy day at work.
How you doing, Smokey?
Is he? No, we got more than just Smokey.
We should, yeah.
For whatever reason, it's not showing me logged in.
We got Chunky Gorillas. We got Auburnett. So, did you pick up your Force Pack yet?
No.
Slacker.
My store hasn't told me they got it yet. He posts on Facebook that he got it. I haven't seen the post.
He doesn't, like, send you a text message or a nice little love letter?
Excuse me. I have not received any love letters from my store.
Oh, that's a shame.
So,
Has anybody watching the stream picked up their pack yet? No? And they say no. Ah, well. Well, for those of you who haven't seen yet, we do have the new pack is in the deck builder on Flip. Octagon has not been updated yet, so anything you save on Flip's not going to work in Octagon. So don't even try that. They are not connected. But if you want to build decks online and do some card searching, database searching, it's all there. Images are all there too. So.
oh, our audience is growing. Mr. Mick Cipra is here.
Oh, Mick hasn't been online lately. Mick has been missing out on the on all the careless whispering.
I would say he's missed out. So you ready to get this show on the road?
Yep, Chunky says it hasn't made it up north yet. Mick says hello. Smokey says I'll get right on that, but I'm not 100% sure on what that's a reference to.
I'm hoping mine is in tomorrow.
Mick, how have you been working? You're a teacher. This is summer.
Maybe he's doing summer school.
I think he is doing summer school from what he said before. Maybe he took on another job. All right. Well, we'll let them shoot us an answer, and we can get things underway if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Oh yeah. All right. I'll let you kick things off.
Wait a minute. Is that Judge Judy? I just saw that.
So, oh, okay, Smokey. That sounds good. Yeah, just hit me up and let me know. Yeah, I always try to put a picture on there that I try to go out of my way to find one that I think will make you laugh. This one was Judge Judy. I also thought the all the empty seats and the people with the umbrella might get you too, but
I was wondering what that was. Okay, now I can see what it is. All right, so first topic. We finally reached our final regional weekend.
oh yeah.
So, what do we think the turnout's going to be for Tulsa and Wisconsin? And what do you think's going to win?
I think Lightside's gonna win.
Well, I guess we met more along the lines of a deck type. I guess.
Yeah, if I was going to Tulsa this weekend, I would register 2 Lightside lists.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal, but okay. Pretty sure that'll result in a DQ, or at least it should.
Yeah, true.
Or you just lose every dark side game, in which case you're not going to make the top 8.
Actually, I think if I build a deck with, if it's like 100 card deck, so I guess 20 objectives, if half of them are light side and a dark side deck, if anybody notices and reports it, I'll just take a match loss, and then I'll just have to take out the light side cards. But I think otherwise I'm fine, according
That's
to the
absurd.
rules. Yeah.
So let's talk a little serious now. Seeing as how we've wasted about a minute or so talking nonsense. So what kind of turnout are you expecting for Tulsa?
I still have a long standing bet. I think I made it at the beginning, like back in like what was it, like January or like no, it was like March when they made the announcement that more players from outside of this region will show up for the Tulsa regional than from inside the region. So
Yeah, I do remember you saying that.
yeah, I think it'll be a big event. My guess would be somewhere around 25 to 35. I don't think it'll be, like Colorado or anything like that.
So more than 9, less than 34.
I mean, they have a strong weekly turnout. I've heard anywhere from 8 to 13.
What's the drive from Tulsa to Dallas?
4 hours ish.
It's a long drive. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they. I don't think they'll crack 30, but I mean, if they do, I guess it wouldn't be that big of a surprise. But I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be higher than the New Jersey one because that's our highest one right now, right?
Yeah. No, I don't think it'll get that high either. Like I think to be honest, like a lot of people in Texas just aren't going to go. I think a lot of people in Texas are pretty upset that it's up there. Not upset at the store. I think just upset at the location.
Yeah. Well, the Dallas people can't be too upset.
From what I understand, a lot of the Dallas people aren't going.
Okay. Well, moving on to Wisconsin.
Are you having any buffering issues real quick? We've got some people, 2 players in the stream are saying there's some buffering.
No, my stream's going good for once. My internet is on point today.
Yeah, mine's doing great too.
I haven't seen the little buffering thing yet either.
Yeah, I haven't either. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry you guys are having trouble there. It's no fun. All right, so how many people do you think will be at Wisconsin?
I'm going to say 20 to 25.
I think that one's got another chance of being high. I think there's a lot of people that are kind of last ditch effort, so to speak, to make it to one regional this season.
I believe their store championship was a very small one. So I mean, I guess it depends on how many people come down from Minnesota. Like if Mick and his group are going, I don't know. But I know Justin and Jared are supposed to go. I'm not going.
Yeah.
I don't know how many other people from the Chicago area are going. Because there's also a X-Wing regional in Chicago this weekend, so that might, take away some people.
And I know there's a handful of Ohio guys heading out.
Oh yeah, like DB, me
Yeah.
boy.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'll be fine. Is anybody in the cast? Anybody going to a regional this weekend? Nick, are you heading out? Is Smokey gonna drive out to Wisconsin?
No, he said he wasn't going.
Oh, that's right.
I don't want to go because I don't want to be there till 11, 12 o'clock at night and then have to drive 2.5 hours home.
No, I don't know because I have to drive 7 hours if I want to go to one this weekend. So I just totally think you should be going.
Oh, sorry that you flew to like 16 of them.
There weren't even 16. So
I
what do
know.
you think's gonna win? What do you think's gonna win for light side?
Oh, geez, I have no idea. I haven't been testing because I knew I wasn't going.
But
I'm
you know
about
what's
ready,
out there.
I'm about ready to start preparing for Gen Con though. I mean, I guess. I guess the favorite would be the Force Lock decks.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
I
Do you
mean,
think so? For dark side, do you have a favorite that you think's gonna?
no, I have no idea what Darkseid's gonna do.
So then, what of the new pack? Do you think anything of the new pack's gonna make an appearance?
For Darkseid,
Either side.
wouldn't surprise me if IG88 made an appearance for Darkseid. I like
Yeah.
IG88.
Yeah.
For light side, I'm trying to think what's in there. The Leia set. I could see the Leia set being played.
I think they're all. I think they all have potential. I think the Green Squadron is going to spark some vehicle players. I think Chewie. People are going to want to make Chewie a health of 6.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if various light side sets get played.
All right. Well, we're either way. I'm really excited for them to hit, and I'm even more excited to talk about them next week. So
Hopefully, we have good coverage.
yeah, I think we will. I think enough people. I mean, we know we're gonna see quite. I think Tulsa will be live streaming some of their stuff. So
Oh, that'll be good. That'll give me something to watch.
yeah. All right. So moving on. Topic number 2. This was a personal favorite of yours, but let's address the cast real quick. We got Mick says that people are going to be playing Green Squadron and 4 Rebel Assault decks, so you can recur the Rebel Assaults. What do you think?
I'm not buying it.
And then we've got a player, Rhino80, saying the stream's still giving him a hard time for some reason. That's very, very frustrating. And I got a message. Chunky Gorillas is now following us on Twitch. Thank you, Chunky Gorillas. We appreciate those. You guys subscribe, you'll get notifications when we go live. Well, moving on. You want to do number 2?
Yeah, we're going to talk about how FFG can improve regional season.
So straight out the gate, how can they improve regional season?
Give us more regionals.
Yeah, I know that was something that you had talked about over the regional season, was that you were, I mean, you basically only had one that you could really, well, you have 2, but you're just being a slacker, but you really only have one that you can make it to.
Yeah, I mean, the main reason I want to see more is so that there's more, coverage week to week. We just
Sure.
went through 4 weeks of a dead zone
Yeah.
where there was no reason to do anything, and I think that was a mistake. Don't get me wrong, I did like the weekends that had the 2 or 3 events going on because it gave us a lot of stuff to, follow over the weekend. But the weekends where there was nothing, I think was a fail because we had nothing to care about, no reason to play, especially during the month from the last one till this weekend. The only reason to play was to just prepare for this week, but knowing that a pack was probably going to hit before, there was actually no reason to even try to prepare because, the pack was coming out.
Yep.
So I think that's one thing they should do is just increase the amount of regionals.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of room for improvement for next year. I think, are you happy with Gen Con, then nothing, and then Worlds, and then nothing? Do you like that concept?
No, because again, the lulls are what kind of causes the game to lose people because they're
Yeah.
they got nothing to play for. Now, I guess I'm okay with Gen Con to Worlds being a lull, but I mean it would be nice if there was something in there.
Oh, for sure.
Like I
mean,
believe you posted, didn't you post, or did you talk? Were we talking about this on the phone? Where you thought that there should be another season leading up to Worlds that gave out buys to Worlds? Did you post that, or were we talking
I
about?
mentioned that when we were just in the discussion about the prize support.
Okay,
I think I posted either early this morning or yesterday.
I couldn't remember if we were talking about that or not.
I mean, it's a possibility, right? Like last year, there was a Netrunner special event that happened post Gen Con, pre Worlds.
Yeah,
Um, I would like to see something like that. I think that would be kind of neat, you know. Um,
X-wing does the the preview tournaments for before wave releases. So they had the wave 4 preview tournaments. I forget what it was called, but basically what happens is you play, and whoever wins gets first pick of a new ship, and then you have to play a game with those ships. So like the top two players this year had to either pick Imperial Navy or Rebels, and then they had to play with those ships, build
okay.
a squad with those ships. It was actually, I was second place, but I wasn't feeling good, so I had to leave. But it was fun.
Well, looking at it, you know, in terms of improving regionals, I definitely feel like this year's regionals should have still given a bye to Worlds, not to Gen Con.
I agree.
Um, and
Because
not just
as we will probably see in a few weeks, a lot of those buys are going to go to waste.
Yeah, we were going to talk about that a little bit, but I I just think that you know, hyping up Gen Con, it's just not the right thing to hype with the regionals. You know, hype up Worlds with that. Like Gen Con, I get that it's nationals, but I feel like it's more exclusive to people who can afford the Gen Con trip because Gen Con is not cheap.
No.
The cost of the hotel, the entry to the events, it's a great weekend, but it's way more expensive than other things. So I think nationals should just kind of be something that stands on its own. If you can make it, great. If not, fine. But I just don't think there should be buys to it.
I think what they're doing by having nationals. Well, I shouldn't say it's what they're doing, but what happens is people have to either choose Gen Con or Worlds.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yep.
some people can go to both, but that's probably the exception rather than the rule. Like I can go to both, but I'm only 2 hours from Indy, and I've got family down there, so my trip is super cheap.
Right.
You know, I can also go. I can also drive to Minneapolis in about 6 to 7 hours.
Yep.
So I save a little money there. I don't know anybody up there to stay with, but we had a car full of four of us, and we just split gas in the hotel, and it worked out, really well.
Yeah, I like the price support for regional season. I think they did all that stuff pretty great, you know, but
Yeah.
I just think in the grand scheme of things, make it a little bit more special, make it a little bit more unique, and make it matter a bit differently would be. I think what we're getting at is we want a bigger regional, or not regional, but a bigger like tournament season than just store championships, regionals, nats, and worlds. Like
Yeah.
we need more reasons to play.
And to actually stay on topic a little, I would like to see them shrink the regions,
Yes.
have more regions, and then that way they can increase the amount of regionals. Keep it two per region, but make them significantly smaller, like Illinois, Indiana, and like Wisconsin or something. Have that be a regional. Have like 3 or 4 states make up a region.
Sure. Sure.
You know, instead of 15 states making up a region or whatever it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on to the next one. Number 3 is low tournament attendance across store championships, regionals, and local events. How would, because we were discussing that we've been seeing this a lot throughout regional season and store championship season. Attendance is just down. My meta, we had 3 local players here. That's pretty much gone now. It's just like everything is just completely dried up. And we're in the middle of a cycle. It's not,
Yeah.
we're not even in a dry spell. We've got plenty of stuff coming out.
And
So
we can't say that the Dash freeholders killed it because
It was
FFG
only
nipped
around for
that.
like a week or so, yeah.
Yeah, FFG nipped that in the bud pretty quick.
Oh, we've got a celebrity in the house. Zach Bunn has stepped up. He says, "I feel like they should just get rid of regions or make the regions matter somehow." So let's pause real quick.
So have like a regional championship kind of thing. Kind of
So
curious what he means by make them matter.
yeah, he says, I think feel like they should get rid of the regions or make the regions matter. I think what he's meaning is that like if you win a regional, it doesn't really matter except for a bye to nationals. So like, um, no, Zach, you're fine. There's a bit of delay on Twitch, so you're fine.
We'll let him see this one time.
Like I am the Missouri regional champion, but that doesn't mean anything to anybody except for me. You know, like
Right.
I'm assuming that's what he meant.
You get a shiny trophy for it.
Yeah, which is nice. But I mean, that wasn't me trying to be negative of it. I'm just trying to relay what I think he's saying. He says, if the regions only exist to divide where regionals are, why not just pick the locations? Yeah, I agree. Basically, like there's no real point to the regions themselves. Just say, hey, here's where these events are going to be. And then David says, last year was kind of cool going to Worlds representing your region.
Yeah, but last year there was like 500 regionals. I would just like to see them. Like, I think, what did we have the first year? Like 72 or 73? Isn't that what we counted up or something like that?
I think so.
And now this year they went all the way down to 15. I mean, I think they should try 30 for next year and give buys to Worlds.
No, but like I'm agreeing with Zach. Like basically all they did was pick 15 locations to have events at.
Right.
And the regionals don't matter in the slightest. Like calling them regional really doesn't matter. Like there's
you need some kind of, description for the tournament, whatever. But I mean, yeah. Go on.
No, I just think what he's saying is the whole thing's kind of redundant of itself. Like it's basically just a special location for a tournament.
Yeah.
And I think you would have a lot of, I think he's, also, I don't know if this is the point he's trying to make. I don't want to speak for him, but I do think he's making a good point in that, like, there was a lot of players in Ohio that were really upset about the location of some regionals because it basically meant they weren't going to go and they were in those regions, And here, if you disregard all of that, if you take away the region, just say, well, here's where these special tournaments are, the people in Ohio, the only thing they're going to be upset about is they're not close to one of those tournaments, right? Like, there's no hostility or frustration over the fact of there's a tournament that is supposed to be close to me, but it's actually not.
I mean, short of giving everybody a regional again, I think there's still going to be hurt feelings no matter what we do. Unless we literally, there's literally one every 2 hours. There's like 2-hour circles everywhere on a map, Everybody's within at least 2 hours of one or two or something like that, Or otherwise, people are going to complain.
Do you think, what about the opposite spectrum then? Do you think making regionals matter would be like a bigger thing?
I think I would make Nationals winner get a 3-round bye at Worlds. Yeah, how is that not the most absurd thing ever?
So
we're going to give somebody a free 27 points to start the tournament when a cut's going to be around 35?
Okay, so like what would you think, like if regional winners were given like free entry to the next year's regional as well, and a first round bye into that regional?
But how are they going to give you free entry to a regional the following year when they don't even know where it's going to be?
Well, they could give you a certificate or something, You let FFG know which one you're going to, and they'll take care of it.
Yeah, that sounds like a massive cluster.
I'm not saying it was a perfect solution. I'm just throwing out things to, like, Zach had mentioned, making them matter more in some regard.
You make them matter more by giving a bye to Worlds instead of Nationals.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think like winning nationals, you should at least get, airfare or hotel or something. But
Hey man, winning a 100-man tournament and all you get is a first round bye to Worlds. What?
yeah, that's a kick in the pants.
Hey, I mean nobody else is getting that though, as far as we know. So I mean it is something. We can combine this into our topic though. Like we were trying to go over ways to improve attendance, and obviously some of these ideas flow with that.
Yeah,
Zach also continues. He says, "My problem isn't that they don't matter enough. It's more that they matter, but you divided it based on regions that don't matter."
yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I get what he's saying.
just scrap them and call them something else. Don't do away with the regions. Just give us more tournaments that matter.
Yeah, yeah. I would like to see like maybe a longer regional season and like a shorter store championship season, but well, so what?
Or keep them the same. Well, I would like to see a longer regional season. I thought 2 months for store championships was fine.
Sure.
I wouldn't mind seeing like store championships running like January, February into March, and then you take half of March and April off, and then May, June, July would be regionals, and then obviously August is nationals. But then you got the problem of September and October. You've got the dead zone.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a good time for them to do, like if they know they're going to release a box set or start a cycle, do some kind of special series, like they did like we said, with Netrunner. That would be fun.
See, I would like to see, store championships give a bye to states. I would like to see the winner of each state get a bye to their regional for their region. And I'd like to see the regional winners get a bye to Worlds. And I would like to just let Nationals stand on its own.
You said regionals would give a bye to Worlds?
Yeah, so store
Yeah.
champions to state would get regional would get Worlds, Nationals stands on its own.
Yeah. Just give us more buys to Worlds. That's all I'm asking.
So what do you...
One is not enough.
We were going to talk about... We've got a lot of talk in the chat. Smokey says we need state championships, not regionals, and only allow nationals and state championships play in Worlds.
Wow.
I don't know what that last sentence means.
Well, I think what he's saying is make people qualify for Worlds. So if you won your state or you won nationals, then you could play in Worlds.
I would be okay with that as long as like there were grinders or something at like nationals or Worlds to try to earn entry into Worlds.
Yeah. Now what would be completely, impossible for FFG to do, but have like a ranking system like, DC, like the DCI.
Yeah.
I mean, they would never do that, but
No.
I always enjoyed the rankings.
Yeah, me too. So, real quick, we've only got like a minute left, but like
we haven't even touched on the biggest thing that we had talked about for this,
which was the player locator.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. We can run a little long on it.
I mean, I don't necessarily think you need a player locator for the region or a tournament locator, not necessarily a player locator. Like if you like we talked about, you go on like Wizards website for Magic, you type in your zip code, and it'll spit out every single store within a certain radius that has tournaments. Like they need something like this, or not this, like that. A player can go onto their website, type in their zip code, and it's going to show you stores that either sell the game or register tournaments.
Well,
because right now you're just throwing darts in the dark, trying to find a store that has a player base.
Yep.
And they have the organized play forums, and there's I don't know how many posts there are for people looking for players, but it just doesn't seem to work. They need a system.
It doesn't, and it has to be FFG that does it. Like it's got to be official. And one way that WotC kind of cheats that is they have a tournament scoring system, and you use that to register your upcoming events.
Right.
And so that feeds directly into their site. So any players looking for an event, when they search, it's because those events have already been registered. Like, they're guaranteed to happen. The store has claimed this is happening here, you know. So
Right.
it's got to start. I think that's the way that makes the most sense, and it's got to be an initiative put on by FFG.
I mean, every game that I've ever played, they've had that feature on their website.
Yeah.
And it just kind of blows my mind that FFG doesn't want to give the players a tool that will allow them to find other players.
I mean, it's nice, you know, Zach's here. It's nice if you have a store like Team Covenant that, you know, specifically specializes in products by certain companies or types of play. You know, like they don't sell Magic, but they sell all of FFG stuff. So anybody in Tulsa that plays any FFG game, they just kind of know, hey, we go here if we want to do this. So it's those kind of things are great. It's just not every area has a store like that.
Yeah.
And for an area like Houston here, I mean, we're all spread out. It's impossible to know. I can't just Google Star Wars tournament in my zip code. Like, it's just not going to work like that.
Yeah.
But
Same problem out here.
What's that?
I said it's the same problem out here.
Yeah. It's very frustrating. I do think that these are things that would grow the player base, you know, because I hear from a lot of stores that the game sells really well, but people don't come out to play it. And I'd like to assume that's because people just don't know where and, you know, that events are even going on.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that I personally, we didn't go over it, but I'd like to touch on it before we moved on. I personally would like to see the prize kits changed. I've mentioned this before. I just don't think. I think that they're nice and a nice gesture, if you will, and I don't think they're necessarily bad. I just think that it's too hard to get excited for them. Like, for casual players, for competitive players, it obviously isn't what the environment wants, in my opinion.
So we ready to move on to the next topic?
Apparently you are.
Yeah.
Lethal says there's a Netrunner podcast done out here, and they have made an event locator for Netrunner. That's interesting. And then Jarrett's saying that he ran into a guy buying a starter the other day. He didn't realize people played in tournaments. He thought it was like a typical kind of card game that you just buy and play at home.
Huh.
Yeah, Lethal, I think those kind of things are great, like the homegrown things. It's just, I'm guessing, you know, the podcast started or built to a point where it's very popular, and so everybody kind of knows about it and can use it. Like, maybe, I don't know. We can move on. I'll just end up rambling too much.
Yeah, moving on.
All right. We have our confirmed prizes for Gen Con.
Fruit Ninja is official!
So we'll break them all down because last time, you know, they were speculative. So it's everybody gets a participation core Yoda alternate art.
AKA Fruit Ninja.
Yeah. And
And if you stick around till the end of the day, they'll give you a second Fruit Ninja.
Yep. There's a rumor going around that if you ask for a second Jedi mind trick, they'll give it to you.
Huh.
I might have just started that rumor, but we'll say it's going around.
I did hear that at Gen Con last year, and I asked them for one, and they said no.
See, I was told by FFG that if you stuck around, you'd get one, and then they didn't do it. So I think that might have been the game plan, and then for some reason it just didn't happen. But I don't know.
I still want my second. I still want my second Jedi mind trick.
So core Yoda alternate art. Then that's for everybody. Then top 32 get the Force tokens. Then top 16 get the Piet playmat. Top 2 get the backpack,
Yeah.
and then first gets the buy and the trophy. Did I leave anything out?
Nope.
So we've got Zach Bunn says he can't wait for the Piet playmat. ... I think there might be some sarcasm there. And Jarrett says, where are the spot gloss Rebel Imperial cards?
Regional season next year.
Zach Bunn is saying he's got some lag too. And it's weird. Some players are hitting lag and then others aren't. I'm still not getting any lag at all.
I'm not either, and usually it's lagging for me.
Yeah, and in fact, even the XSplit is saying that it's not dropping stream. It's not dropping anything. So interesting. We kind of discussed our thoughts on the price support, but I like the point Jarrett brought up. I thought it was kind of a sure thing that regionals would be the smuggler and scum affiliation spot gloss.
Is that the new affiliation?
Yep. And then that nationals would be the Imperial and Rebel, and worlds would be Jedi and Sith. And it appears that's not the case. Like that's.
You know what happens when you make assumptions, right?
Well, I think it's a very safe thing to assume that they will give us those at some point, right? Like
probably regional season for next year.
or they've just got them in stock with those Jedi mind tricks, you know?
Yeah. They're teasing us.
It's interesting. I'm certain they've got a plan for it. I just think and maybe Nationals isn't the best time to give them out because not everybody can make it out to Gen Con.
They can't just like blow their stock on that right away.
Yeah.
They got to drag it out.
Yeah.
I just think that was just too easy to do that. Regionals, Nats, and Worlds. I didn't think that was going to happen.
Okay. Well, you're psychic. I'm not. I
am. I have ESPN.
You're more level-headed. I'm not.
Yeah. Yes, that too.
so, I don't know. I'm actually fine with the price support. I'm the Yoda probably won't see all that much play for me.
I'm fine with the distribution. Like I like that the top 32 gets the Force coins or tokens, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
I mean, they went from 2 backpacks this year. I mean, there was 4 messenger bags last year. I mean,
so I do have a gripe with the 2. Isn't it kind of weird that only like first and second, like why not give like second doesn't get anything exclusive at all, you know? Like they don't even get like, well, at least I got this backpack. Oh no, wait, the guy who beat me still gets that too. You know what I mean? Like,
they're backpack buddies.
But Ray, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of a little weird. Like if I'm second and I get the little backpack, I'm gonna be like it feels like such a disappointing thing, you know? Like if you get second.
Yeah.
Just watch, you're gonna get second now.
Well, I finished 4th last year. Second will be an improvement.
I'm fine with the Piet playmat. I like the art on it. I mean, was there better art choices or other art choices? Yes. Oh, Mick's got it. The Master and Apprentice backpacks.
I like Backpack Buddies better. But okay.
Yeah, Backpack Buddies is pretty good too.
That should be a TGO shirt.
No, but Lethal just turned it
there we
into
go,
a
Backpack Buddies. Hashtag Backpack Buddies. Nobody commented on my hashtag that I used the other day about the Jedi Mind Trick. I really thought somebody would have said something about it. I did hashtag FFG, I want my second Jedi Mind Trick. Nobody commented on it.
But I think that's because it's against the joke. The joke is funnier when people are using hashtags about things you said because you refuse to use hashtags.
I'm coming around.
When you say them, it's just not as funny, you know? All right, moving on. We've got
Backpack Buddies has to be a TGO shirt.
We apparently are going to talk about the world buys.
Yeah. I'll try to keep it clean.
Zach says, I have such little desire for those prizes that I am honestly considering not even playing at Nationals. Wow.
I mean, I think the prizes are okay. Like you said, there were better choices to be made for the art, but I mean, it is what it is.
No, that's pretty impactful, Zach. I'm bummed to hear that. I hope you decide to play. I think it's great when everybody plays, but I totally get, if you just have no interest in winning what they're offering, don't play. So I don't fault you for that at all.
I wish they would have used the art from the objective from Piet.
Yeah.
'Cause isn't it a big view of the executor?
Yeah, but I'd rather they save that for the full art executor, though.
No, I want that as a playmat.
Yeah, no, that would be a really cool playmat, too.
Second only to the charred Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru playmat. I mean, I don't dislike this stuff enough to keep me from playing. I'm still playing, but if I make top 16, well, then things get dicey because I've got an X-wing event to play in.
So I mean, no matter what, we both agree. Like, I like that first gets a paid entry to Worlds and the buy, but I think like top 8 should have gotten buys. I don't think it should have just been first.
Yeah, I mean, bare minimum top 4.
Unless, I mean, if there's another tournament season going to kick off before Worlds where they're giving out World buys, like that's fine. But I mean, it almost kind of sells Worlds short. Like it makes Worlds. Like, one of the things that was neat about Worlds last year was there was like 30 to 40 of us kind of sitting around, and all of us had done something significant over the last X months, or over the last tournament season. And now knowing that, like, what we know so far is just one guy is going to be sitting there, or girl, and not doing anything, I don't know, it just doesn't make it seem very special, I guess. Lethal says,
tears.
Yeah, he wants your tears after he beats you. Yeah.
Where's he going to beat me? At Worlds
That's a
or
question
Nationals?
best left unanswered. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that I get that maybe they don't want everybody to have all these paid entries to Worlds. That I understand.
Yeah, there were a lot of there was probably more paid entries last year than there were paid. Or I'm sorry, there were more
free
unpaid.
entry.
Yeah, more free than paid.
And I'm fine with. I thought the event was good, so I would have paid.
Yeah, just give me a buy. You don't have to pay my way in. I'll pay my $25. I don't care.
Oh yeah, $25 is more than reasonable. The thing about the buys is just that they're meaningful. Like it means something to you, and it shows that you did well at something, and that you're kind of among the best of the best, waiting to duke out and find out who's going to be the best of the best at Worlds that year. And when you basically just put everybody, somebody who, look at Tyler, for example, Tyler Strutton, who won 2 regionals. If he doesn't go to Nationals, he doesn't have a chance to get a bye to Worlds. So you have a guy who did something that nobody else has done so far this regional season that, he's going to have to play out just like everybody else. At Worlds, I don't know. I think they could have made it a bit more special, personally.
I agree.
David says that a bye is the sole reason that him and his friend went to Worlds last year. Yeah, I mean, I don't want it to be like a complete harp on FFG here. I just think that I'm like really hoping something's going to pop up where they're going to have another way to give out buys or something to Worlds. But I'm just real nervous that,
Prepare to have your hopes crushed.
Yeah.
So is it a Twitch problem or?
Looks like it. Twitch was doing really horrible yesterday.
I wonder
Well,
if
that was
there's
the timer. Thank goodness.
I wonder if there's just like too
We're
many
back.
people trying to use Twitch, or they just can't handle it, or what?
No, I agree. Jared's saying that there's just been a plethora of Twitch issues the last couple days. And all right, so
Next time.
moving on.
Do you want me
Topic
to
number
do
6.
you want me to introduce it?
Yes, please.
All right. Do we need a tournament organizer program for this game? And we have, I think, between the both of us, we have done a lot of complaining about TOs lately.
We have.
More so you, but I'm pretty
And
sure
to
I've
be
done my fair.
fair, I come from a very competitive gaming background over 2 decades now. But more specifically, I just got done coming from a very competitive background in Magic, where TOs aren't hapless. They're the opposite.
Right.
So to be fair, I am very strongly urging something similar, but that is because I just got done probably playing in like the most profound competitive card game environment possible, right? So
Yeah. And
like,
to be fair, we're not saying we want it to be at Magic's level.
right.
We just want, you know, something better than what we have now. You know, a blind squirrel TM tournaments would be better in some places than what we've had. So,
Yeah, I mean, we've got Jarrett who says that's your problem, Matt. You're comparing it to Magic. To be fair, that's part of the problem. The other problem is I played in Vegas twice. That was just glutton for punishment.
you didn't learn your lesson the first time. You had to go back and have your suspicions confirmed.
Oh, we've got Fully Operational has joined the stream. He says that they have talked with FFG about a judge certification program.
I would be interested to hear how those talks have gone. I mean, granted, they said they just begun, so maybe it's just they just emailed them recently. I don't know. But they definitely, something has to be done. Because, like, Las Vegas is, a prime example of what is wrong. Right?
Yeah, and to be fair, the flip side of it is there have been plenty of well organized and run events. I heard Cray did an awesome job at Origins. I know Scotty has had very little negative things to say about all the regionals he attended. Right?
Yeah.
There's good ones out there. There's more good ones than bad, for sure. It's
That's
just
true.
the bad kind of highlight the fact that things could be better.
Yeah. Yeah, the Illinois Regional was run really well. We almost had a little hiccup at the beginning, but everything got straightened out.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, whether or not we truly need it or not, it's better to have something and to have it there and not really need it than the alternative is to have a bunch of poorly ran tournaments and players just not playing because of it.
I would like baby steps, like a tournament guideline with 0 gray area. Then that way, once you do start getting, some official TO stuff going on, they have a guideline that tells them exactly what they can and can't do.
Yeah. No, definitely, especially when they made the different tiers of tournament levels, and the rules are the same for all of them. Like, they don't give any, there's no depth to the rules for each level. It's just,
Yeah.
we'll let them figure it out, sort of thing. And that's not a good idea.
Well, I want to think FFG is getting there. I would like to think that's definitely a path they're going down. Towards getting this all this done. But we know FFG is not a big company in terms of new numbers of employees, right? Like, I've heard 3 to 4 heads per department kind of thing. And if that's the case, I mean, you can't just kind of really say, okay, here, you 3 or 4 people that are in the organized play area start busting out all of this, judge system and all this. Like, it seems like something that hopefully they know is a problem and they're, getting to the point where they can address it. I would love for something to start, like I said, with the gray area, get all of that stuff out of there, get a tournament guidebook or a tournament, step by step. This is what happens here. This is what happens in this situation.
Fully Operational says that it's more or less a few of the better UK players offering their TO services to stores and events. But that means they can't play. And that's part of the problem, too, I think. So Zach says it's gotten absurdly better than 2 years ago.
Yes, and I can believe that. So I mean, I'm not trying to be negative on FFG here. I'm trying to actually be positive because I think we want a very positive outcome here. Like
Yeah.
I'm certain this is stuff they're aware of and stuff they're working on.
See, I've not had nearly the negative experiences that you've had.
Right.
I mean, the extent of my negative experiences are nationals taking till 2 in the morning, or no, I'm sorry, my game took till 1 in the morning, and World starting, what was it, like an hour and a half late?
I mean, Nationals was not great.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of downtime between rounds, but they had several tournaments going on and only a couple of people working to enter the results. So, and which is funny because I don't know if anybody's looked at the Gen Con schedule for the FFG events, but you've got X-Wing, Netrunner, Star Wars, and one of the Game of Thrones going on all at the same time on Thursday. So I really hope FFG is bringing a small army of employees to run their tournaments.
I don't think it needs to be a small. I think I said, like, if they've got 2 people per each, it should be fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, that's just a score. That's just to
Right.
head up like
I
when
knew what you
reports
meant.
come in. They still need 2 or 3 judges.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you're right. I guess they probably do need like 5 people per event minimal.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have a couple of judges for each game, so at least 2 or 3 judges per game. But I mean, you're going to have a lot of the designers for each game being like the head judge. So like Nate French will probably be doing Game of Thrones because I believe that's what he was doing last year.
He was
Eric
walking
Baldwin.
around he was around the Star Wars one because I talked to him a couple times.
Well, maybe they weren't going on at the same time.
Yeah, that could be it.
But I mean, you'll see a lot of the head designers, or not the head designers, but the designers of those games will probably be the judges. Because I know Eric was a judge, Nate was a judge, and those are a couple of the designers. So,
Well, moving on.
Wookiee spoilers.
Oh yeah, we got the new Force Pack.
Everything has been revealed.
Oh yeah,
Cloud of the Future is no longer.
I got Wookiees for days.
Wookiees for days.
I got
Hashtag
walking
Wookiees for days.
carpets for days.
You got what?
Walking carpets for days.
Yeah. Smokey can play his furry deck now.
Oh god.
He wanted to play Leia, all the Wookiees. It's a trap, or no, it's not. It's a trap. What's it called? The Wookiees or the Ewok set from Core.
I don't know.
Anyway, he can play his furry deck now.
So, the spoilers are up. We've got all the images and stuff up on Flip. What is your initial response to the until last night non-spoiled set?
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
Some interesting stuff in there.
It's better than most smuggler support sets.
I mean, it's a 5-2 objective.
Yeah.
Is it smuggler only?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm trying to bring it up. What's it called? What's the set called? It binds all things or something?
The
I'm
pack
so-
is called It Binds All Things.
Yeah, I found it. I'm so bad. There we go. Wookiee's journey. So maybe he can go on a journey with Luke. You can have a Wookiee and a hero's journey.
I feel like the Lorik character, the kind of main in the set, I think he's pretty insane as a unit himself. I mean, those stats are ridiculous. He's a 4/3. I guess he's kind of like Kyle, but he's elite.
Everything's black.
Yeah.
I think he's better than Kyle almost.
Oh yeah, I like him better than.
I mean, the only thing that would make Kyle better is if Kyle's objective is out and you can like just keep looping Kyle. But otherwise, I like this guy way better. He's got the black blast because he's going to get it too, and the 3 black blaster is pretty good. 3 health, 3 force icons. I mean, for 4, that's pretty solid. The only way you care about this guy in an edge battle is if he'll die or get tactics. It's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I like him. I mean, obviously, I don't think you run this without Chewie, right?
No, because it's got the Heart of the Wookiee, which Chewie's gonna love.
Right.
Chewie with 6 health or 9 health if you get 2 of them out.
But I mean, is this the first set we've seen where you wouldn't run it without its counterpart?
I don't.
Besides that whole restricted thing.
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I can't think of a.
Like Vader and Palpatine might be the next closest because of the Force chokes, maybe. But you can easily run one without the other, so probably not.
I mean, I think you can run this
Really?
without Chewie. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily great without him, because obviously the draw is to get Wookiee Life Debt out,
Right.
and then you've just got so many more protectors. So
Yeah, so do you think the set is awful if you don't have Wookiee out?
no, I don't think it's terrible, because I mean, Lorik is still good. I mean, at that point, you're paying 4 for Lorik, and he is a 4-cost unit, right? I mean, he's not underwhelming for a 4-cost unit by any stretch of the imagination.
No, he's solid.
So I mean, I don't mind if I have to play him without Wookiee Life Debt or Chewie. The loyal
even the
Wookiee,
3/3, the loyal is fine.
I think the loyal is solid for 3. He's got
Yeah.
3 health. You can possibly get him for free. I mean, I could see this being played without Chewie. I mean, Faithful Companion is kind of a bad resource, but I mean, it's not the worst. And Heart of the Wookiee just makes your other 2 Wookiees better. I mean, it's limited in its scope, obviously, but I definitely could see this play without Chewie. I don't think you have to have one. You can't have one without the other.
All right.
I mean, I like the set. I think it's okay.
No, I'm fine with it. I just it makes me want to play Chewie,
Yeah.
and I haven't played Chewie in quite a while because of Force Lock. So
Well, I mean, the allure of playing it with Chewie, besides Wookiee Life Debt, is getting Lorik, and he makes all the 2-cost Wookiees better.
right.
I mean, yeah, it's got a ton of synergy with that set, but I don't think it's a make it or break it for this set that you're not playing Chewbacca.
All right.
But I don't see why you would play this without Chewbacca, though. Because Chewbacca is just nuts.
But did you just get done saying you would play it without Chewie?
I mean, you could. I said you could. You don't have to. But it's like, why wouldn't you?
It was such a horrible buzzer beater sentence to end on. It's just
Okay.
Because you talked about it for like 35 seconds and then just end it with, well, but I wouldn't run it without Chewie.
It's one of those things that, things I say that just, make you wonder.
No, I love it. I love it. All right. So, what are we on? 7th topic? 7th topic.
I don't know.
8th topic. Gen Con, 3 weeks away. What are you running? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm going to run a light side deck and a dark side deck that I've yet to figure out what it is.
How are you preparing for Gen Con?
I'm not yet. I didn't prepare for Gen Con last year till literally the week of.
All right.
Like I spent the week before Gen Con, like as in the week of, I mean like the Monday and Tuesday before I went down there, I was grinding games on Octagon with like Smokey, Matt, Tiny. I just played as much Octagon as I could. I don't plan on doing that this year. I actually probably will, because I'll probably play games with you. But
I
haven't started yet. I've still got 2 weeks to prepare.
When was it? Like, because Gen Con was about the same time. I think it might have been like a week earlier, like the 7th or something, instead of I can't remember exactly. But do you remember how long we had between Edge and Gen Con?
Edge came out at the end of July. I think we had like 3 weeks.
Was it 3 weeks?
Yeah.
So this year's Gen Con is kind of nice because we don't have that insanity. We don't have to learn, 22 new objective sets right before a 100-man tournament.
I'm sorry, I was reading the comments.
I see Colonel Sanders says he's going to build a dark deck during the drive to Indy in the morning and play that.
Yeah, Jared is saying I ended up getting fourth with a bad light side deck that he made up the morning of. Actually, he didn't really make it up. He just made one change to it, and me and Justin hated the change. I mean, we liked it in the morning, but then as soon as we started playing it, we're like, yeah, this is a bad idea.
So basically, do you think that because there isn't this looming giant set dropping before Gen Con, do you think it's kind of making things a little bit more lax?
Probably, because the meta's fairly defined right now. We've got 2 regionals this weekend that are going to kind of give the foundation for the new meta, if whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the decks that do well this weekend is probably what people will look at first and build from there.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you're looking to start getting ready for Gen Con, it seems very wise to say, wait till Sunday.
I'm sorry. I see. Is DJ? Do you call him David?
That's I call him by his name. Yes.
All right. He says he's flying down to Chicago. I mean, if he wants to, he can drive down with me Wednesday.
There you go.
Because I'll be leaving Wednesday evening, about 4:00. So.
So yeah, it seems like waiting till this weekend to get some deck ideas is a good idea. I'm a big fan of gauntlet testing. Figure out what's what.
Yeah.
Figure out if your deck can beat A, B, C, and D. I think trying to watch streams, get an idea of what's out there. Maybe learn some new plays if there's some concepts you haven't figured out just yet.
But the only stream that we can watch is yours.
David streams.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Streams sometimes.
I didn't know. Didn't know he streamed.
Yeah.
I will start streaming soon. Actually, not soon at all. It'll be like 9 months from now. But I will start streaming again.
Can't wait.
As soon as I get my new house built. Can't wait.
So I think that if people are looking at preparing, I think light side, your dark side obviously needs to beat force lock if that's possible, and make sure you can handle sleuth. I think people are going to play sleuth at Gen Con. I won't be surprised at all. My guess is anywhere from 10 to 15% of players are on sleuth.
How many did you say are going to be on sleuth?
10 to 15% at Gen Con.
So, yeah, I mean, possibly. Sounds feasible.
I like where the meta's at right now. I think people that are trying to prep. I would also recommend watching Team Covenant stream. They have their weekly events every Tuesday night, and you can watch it. It stays up on their Twitch account. And they have a 3-round event, so you'll be able to watch 3 full games. You can also get a good idea of what people are playing that way too. Or if you just want to spy on the Tulsa players, there's that. That was a joke. I think it fell flat because TGO is too concentrated in the chat box.
Yeah, I'm talking.
Anyway, there's some great options out there, but I definitely think figure out what the top decks are and just make sure you have enough playtime against them.
I'm not good at multitasking right now.
All right.
Next topic.
Topic number 9.
So this was your idea, your topic.
Oh, I sent you ideas. You vetoed some, you party pooper.
Oh, we could talk. I will more than gladly reveal what I said about the one. So how many resources is too many? So I'll let you go.
So we were gonna discuss the concept of resources within deck building.
Yes.
Zach says check out their stream from last night. They both won as Dark Side on their first round.
I watched the Team Covenant stream one night, and it was just sometimes you get like randoms on there. I want to watch Zach play. I want to watch Dennis play. And I guess
Well,
Grant
they have a
is-
lot of players. They're random to you, but they're players that play and do well at their local events. And
Yeah, see, I don't know who they are.
yeah,
I would
just
watch
because they're
that.
not active doesn't mean they're nobodies.
Well, I didn't mean to. I didn't say that. I said randoms. It doesn't mean nobodies. I don't know who they are, but I'm not trying to like be insulting about it.
Oh, jeez.
I want to watch people that I know who I know Zach, and I know who Dennis is.
So, for resources, now that we're a minute in, do you think you just run like is a objective set automatically better if it has a resource?
Is a set automatically better if it has a resource? I don't think so, because I mean, there's some sets that have resources that are just bad resources, right? Like
Like I
Is-
hate the Sith Library and Mara set. Like it drives me insane.
yeah, but you're probably also playing like Council and Emperor and Mara, and each of those have the Sith library in it, so you're like oversaturated.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like I remember before the start of the Echo cycle, it felt like if you had 5 resources in a light side deck, you were in pretty good shape because you were basically just playing like one card a turn. You know, like 1 unit, 4-drop, whatever a turn.
Yeah.
But I don't think that holds true anymore. Colonel Sanders has a good point. A set is not automatically better with the resource. See Dengar's objective set.
I was trying to think of a set that was a bad set with a resource, and like for whatever reason, he didn't come to mind first.
But right now, I don't know. Like I've seen a couple light side decks that have like 8 resources, and it seems plenty. And I know Devastating Sith used to have, I don't know how many. I mean, it had a ton because you had the Sith Library and Council and Emperor's Web. Then you had 2 control rooms from Devastator, and then people were playing it with Mahdi and with Death Squadron Command. So
I mean, I think if you've got a bunch of resources like Cloud City Battle, or not Cloud City, I almost said like a TCG card there for a second. What's the one in Falcon's set? Cloud City Guest Quarters. Like if like I don't think that's like if you've got multiples of that, if they ever put it in like multiple sets, I would be okay with like drawing multiples of those, whereas like drawing multiples of the Sith Library, or was it Hidden Outpost, training Dagobah Training Grounds, like you don't want to draw too many of those because it's just a dead card.
right.
You know, it's a terrible edge card. You know, so like, as we get more resources that actually have icons on them, I don't think you can have. I don't think there's like a too much. You know, you can't have too many because I mean they're still good in. You know, they're still. You can get rid of them in an edge battle at least.
Sure.
Whereas with the 0 icon guys, like they're really only good if you've got a twist, and then you can try to do like try to get them to put an extra card in when you're not really using anything.
Yeah, it's interesting to me. Like if you look at like Magic decks, they always have a proportionate number of lands to your card draw, and obviously this is a different game. But I think it's an interesting concept. You know, is there a certain amount that would be considered just enough? Is there a certain amount that would be considered too much? Or do you just say, no, I like this objective set, I don't care if it has a resource in it?
I mean, I think like for me at least, I feel like 5 is kind of like the bottom limit for me, and it depends on my curve too. Like
Yeah,
if
4 always feels like so dangerous, right?
yeah, because like you might not draw it, and if you've got the Falcon in there, you're just kind of like, oh, I got the Falcon in my hand, but I'm stuck on 4 resources.
But that is a good point about the curve. Like, what if what if your deck just doesn't have anything that costs more than 4? Like, are you too worried about it?
Then I think if I've got 4 resources, whatever, I'm fine. I can play everything I want. You just get to a point where you want to be able to play a unit and maybe a good event or multiple units. I don't think you ever just want to be stuck on 4 and be content,
Yeah, no, I agree.
because you're really limiting your the amount of units you can commit to the board.
And one thing we had talked about too was that when I'm building a dark side deck, I prefer to have like 2 or 3 objectives that have a resource of 2. If I'm playing like Vader, because I like to be able to turn 1 Vader if I feel like it's necessary.
Yeah, definitely having the two resource objectives helps. It allows you to adjust your resources in your deck.
Yeah. All right, final topic here.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. Which set is bet? No, I'm just kidding. Tactics versus unit damage.
And this is like we're revisiting this topic.
Yes, because before, I think in the very first 2 or 3 episodes, we had discussed which we prefer on a dark side unit, and I think the answer was unanimously tactics. Does that sound right?
Probably. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I mean, it was a while ago.
Maybe one of our listeners that just loves listening to our cast and can remember every word we've ever said.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they can remember. Right now, we wanted to discuss how that has changed now that we're almost done with the Echoes of the Force cycle.
I mean, I think with May the Force be with you.
Yep.
You might want more unit damage to remove that. They play the Yoda. If you have three unit damage, killing him is better than focusing him out, because obviously he's just going to free up once he's committed. And it's the same with all their units as long as that objective's out. So I think that objective puts a little more emphasis on the unit damage right now.
Right.
And I've always appreciated a unit being removed from the board as opposed to just locking them down, because the light side's always had the Bamboozle or the Cloud City Operatives, so they've always had ways to free up their units that you thought were locked down, and then now all of a sudden they're locking one of your guys down in the process.
Well, what about like things that I keep seeing over and over? I know you mentioned May the Force be with you, but Heroes and Legends also does a great job of negating tactics too.
Yep. Yeah. I kind of forgot about that one. Good point.
It's gotten to the point for me where I'm much more liking unit damage than I am tactics.
Yeah. I mean, there is a case to be made for tactics or focusing out a unit.
Oh yeah.
Like Han Solo, he's not elite, so I mean you can lock them out. Like Luke, Han, and whoever else is an elite, I can't remember. Mainly Luke and Han, because you really don't want to commit those guys, right? To try to free them up with May the Force be with you, because then they're just going to be locked out at some later point in the game anyway, and then you've just screwed up one of your commit cards. But locking, there's something to be said about locking those guys down versus killing them or destroying them, whatever you want to call it.
For sure.
Because you don't want to see a Han come back if you've dealt with him, right? Or Luke. Well, yeah, Luke is quasi elite, I guess, but I mean he's a little bit easier to tactics down than the elite guys. I guess not. I guess he's about the same.
How many times will TGO flip flop in one conversation?
Yeah, I'm a flip flopper.
Oh yeah. No, I guess I just think it's really interesting. Not like Darkseid's in this massive winning position right now, but I'll definitely need to watch that stream from Team Covenant. They pointed out a couple times, Darkseid pulled off some wins, so it'd be nice to see if it was a result of killing units or if it was a result of just locking down board position. But if unit damage seems better, do you think cards like Emperor are still as good?
Yeah, because I mean, Emperor can affect multiple units. I think that's always going to be good.
Okay.
I mean, assuming you can win that edge battle, obviously, but the ability to lock down 3 units is pretty good.
Do
Because
you
they're not always going to have the ability to, play bamboozle or may the force be with you or whatever. So I mean, it's still going to he's still going to hold value, I think.
Well, now what about the units like Weequay that
So they're
have
they're
both?
like they're like oh, what's the term? They're like Renaissance man, but they're like not masters of anything, I guess. They've got the tactics, they've got the 2 blasters, but they fall just short. You know, like
Yeah.
Emperor is like the master of the tactics units because he's got the 3, and three is kind of a good number because you can lock down an elite unit for multiple turns then. But 1, it's just kind of like, all right, I get to do 1 unit. Maybe I get to kill a unit with 2 health. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're paying 2 for a Weequay, I think that's fantastic.
Yes.
But if you're paying full price, he's just kind of like, a guy of many tricks but a master of none, sort of thing.
I don't know. I think it's interesting. Some things just aren't as good as they once were, and other things are now better. Obviously, that's what happens when meta shifts. But
We've always said that the threshold on dark side units was 3 blasters. Like if a unit had 3 blasters, it was probably a pretty good unit. I think that's always going to be true. I think the same thing can be said about 3 tactics. Even 2 tactics is pretty good. 1, it's kind of like, if they got a shield, you're kind of useless.
yeah. Well,
I don't think I like Weequays at 4. They are the worst at 4. I mean, they got the black icons, but the 2 health just was always the downfall for them.
it's kind of interesting, right? Because they have the 5-drop of the Outer Rim Pirate that is the exact same card, but at 5 with 4 health, so twice as much health as Weequay, and 3 resources. It's like you get punished if you're not capturing if you try to play Weequay.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. It doesn't seem to break down just right, but that's probably why they don't see much play. Well, we only have about 15 minutes or so from where we normally run, and I don't think that's going to be enough time to have any real sort of post discussion. But I think that's quite alright because we talked for so long about certain other aspects.
We rambled.
But we've got about 12 minutes. Was there anything in the chat that people wanted us to keep or to go back over and discuss a little bit more in detail? I mean, we did kind of gloss over the ways to improve attendance. We'll give it a minute because of the delay there.
Trying to keep up with all of Jarrett's comments. He's like, he's got Tourette's of the keyboard today.
Oh, we like active chat. That's good. Active chat is way better than no chat.
That is true.
Well, we're not. Maybe the delay's still going on.
Jarrett wants deck advice for his regional this weekend.
If you were to run a dark side deck for a regional this weekend, what would you run, Matt? Yes, Matt, what would you run? Everybody wants to know.
Vader's Fist, Slave Trade, the Devastator.
I would not run anything that I've run on the stream lately.
Wait, what was that deck that you were playing the other day? It was a scum deck, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it did okay. I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, if Octagon gets updated tonight and IG88 gets added in, I'll definitely be, like, if Octagon gets updated tonight, I'll definitely be streaming Darkseid like all day tomorrow.
I want to see you play Piet.
I'm really looking forward to Piet's set.
You're a glutton for punishment, aren't you?
No, I went through like a 3-month love affair with TIE Attack Squadron.
Yes, you did. I remember that.
Yeah. See, see what people don't know is I went on like a 6 month losing streak to Sleuth at big events. And so then Dennis and Matt Coles turned me on to using TIE Attack Squadron to handle sleuths, and then I stopped losing to sleuths. It was amazing. And then I stopped playing TIE Attack Squadron, and now I'm losing to sleuths again. So, Darth
So
BS says Shadows on the Ice question mark. I'm not sure what that's.
he's probably wondering if you would play that. I don't know.
I like Shadows on the Ice. I just don't like many other Dark Side Hoth objectives. Oh, I see, because Piet's is a Dark Side Hoth, yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't think Piet is great, but I haven't seen him in play. Maybe once I see him in play, I'll change my mind. What I do know is that Darkseid getting a set with 3 fate cards that are all pretty darn good fate cards, and you can run 2 of the set. Like that it makes me want to play those cards. So, or that objective set.
A lot of Hoff stuff last Sunday at Tyvill's tourney in Michigan, but I guess
Yeah,
the full spec wasn't out
I
yet,
think
though.
people are still trying killing cold to try to prevent damage to kind of slow down force lock a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, maybe Piet with a bunch of Hoth stuff is the way to go. Who knows?
Yeah,
Just get a couple of Battle of Hoths on him and attack every turn. Get to remove 2 damage.
all I know is it seems like the key to this cycle has been Lightside gets amazingly awesome units, and Darkside gets not nearly amazingly awesome units, and then have to find a way to beat Lightside.
Maybe they're awesome. We just don't know it yet.
Well, I haven't seen anything Darkside wise that's awesome. Like, I see units that I don't mind having in play at all, but nothing that makes me go, oh, how can you not play this? You know? Lightside seems to get a lot of the, oh, how can you not play this? Like Yoda or Leia.
Come on, the Jedi badly needed a good, shot in the arm from a cycle because Hoth was just embarrassing.
No, see, I agree completely. I just think that
The only problem
one
is
of
that
the downsides of Force
Smuggler's got
Cycles.
so much good crap.
Right, but one of the downsides of Force Cycles is that we know by the end of the cycle things will be better than they are during the middle of the cycle, right?
And we hope.
Yeah,
You hope.
and so what we have, even if we have a tip scale right now, we have to assume that that scale will somewhat balance back out. Maybe not completely, but somewhat balance back out. And we have, Gen Con that is not going to have a whole cycle out as far as it appears right now. So it could be affected. It could be that the balance is going to stay favoring the light side. So, but at least it's not a completely insane environment. Like, I'm fine with light side winning the majority of the games because that's what dark side was doing for so long. I'm fine with this as opposed to that restricted nonsense. Darth BS says, "Don't worry, guys. We get 3 dark side sets in the last pack. I'm sure we'll get something."
Yeah. Everybody will be excited until they open the pack. Until they see
Yeah.
it spoiled.
No, I mean, I think everybody's excited for new cards.
We get
Um,
the light side gets Ferris Olin. Watch out.
So back to, I guess, the question seems to be what to do for this weekend. Do what feels most comfortable. We just had a couple regionals last weekend that I think had the new stuff.
So are you saying use the force?
No, I just think, like, even if your best dark side deck only wins 20% of the time, that's not that bad. Like, for the current environment, that might be bad in general. Like if your best is
So
only
wait a
20%.
minute, wait a minute. You just said a dark side deck that can win 20% of the time is not that bad,
Yes, but
right?
I'm saying that because I can't find a dark side deck that wins 25% of the time or
Now,
higher.
when we were in like the madness that was Dash Freeholder, I said, well, if a dark side deck can win 60% of the time, is that a good deck? And you said no, and you jumped all over me.
Because at the time, dark side decks could win a lot better than did 60% of the time.
But see, now I think we're contradicting because you've always said that. I guess you haven't always said, but you've said that the Dash Freeholder meta was like way worse than this light side meta that we're in now.
Yes.
So I mean, if the
But I
light
said
side
way
was-
worse. I didn't say way more oppressive. No,
Okay.
I did say way more oppressive. It was more oppressive. It's there's no one turn win combo or turn one win combo. There's no, as Zach has put it before, there's no just like I'm just waiting to lose. I mean, we've all seen the videos Zach put up on Team Covenant of Olivier playing in Texas, and you know I think one of the videos is like 5 minutes long, or something. You know where I mean he won with the dial at 2, and back then that was before nudges.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think the environment now is worse. I just think that, you know, it's shifted to how it was last year when Darkside won majority of their games. That's all. There's a big difference between winning the majority of your games and winning all of your games all in 1 to 2 or turns. Like there's a huge difference.
I just think if we were in a more oppressive meta and a dark side deck won 60%, and you didn't think that was good enough, and we're in a less oppressive meta now, you think a dark side deck that can win that can win 20% of the time is okay. I just think that's weird.
Okay, well I was
60% of
being
the time it works
facetious with
every
the
time.
20% now. Come on, cut me some slack. I wasn't being 100% serious that Darkside only wins 20% of the time. Zach pointed out they had multiple games. His very first round last night, they both won on Darkside.
60% of the time it works every time.
Yeah. Someone's going to have to find my 60% quote that you're throwing at me because I would like to know what it is.
No, we had a discussion about viable dark side decks at one point, and I asked the question if a deck could win, a dark side deck could win 60% of the time, because some of these scum decks were winning 60% of their games. You know, and I said, well, does that make them viable? And you had said no.
I'm remembering it. I'm just not remembering my exact words. But I do. It was because we were talking about it beating the freeloader stuff. And I kept saying that I just wasn't 100% sold on Scum.
But I mean, it was a more generic question than just scum. It was just if a deck could win 60% of its games, you know, would that make it a tournament viable deck in that meta? And now we're at a point where we think a deck that can win 20% of its games, which is one game out of 5, is a tournament viable deck.
I just said I wasn't being serious about the 20%.
Okay. You just can't throw numbers at me and not expect me to run with them. Just saying.
No, I get where you're coming from for sure, because I did obviously say both of those things, but I don't think my level of seriousness in regards to a dark side deck that wins only 20% of the time was very high, is all I'm coming across. I was being very facetious with the stream that was asking, you know, what dark side deck to run, because that does seem to be everybody's question. What dark side deck can handle sleuth and freeloaders? Or not freeloaders.
Just play a
Force
sleuth
lock.
deck against the sleuth deck.
Yeah, I mean, I've been stuck in a rut on the
Hypnosis.
streams of trying to come up with something that works. At the same time, on the streams, I'm also, you know, I like to play kind of, I would call them somewhat lackluster decks that aren't always designed to be top number one deck of the day, you know, kind of thing. It's not like I've never won on a stream with Darkside. Lately, it definitely feels like Darkside is losing majority of its games, for sure. But, you know, I do think there's stuff out there, as I've always said. That, and I have no idea what this new pack has done to the environment. I keep hearing a lot of negative talk on IG-88. I don't know. I want to believe IG-8 set's pretty fine, but I also liked what the reserve troopers looked like, and they're not doing it for me. So
Oh, good old lethal hobo.
what?
I'm reading something he posted on the forums. He went back and he found my hashtag I want my second Jedi mind trick.
Okay.
He wrote hashtag screw the mind trick, hashtag let's be backpack buddies. So, well, I gotta jump off.
All right, sir.
I've got some games to play this evening.
All right. Well, you have fun doing that. Hope everybody enjoyed the cast. Everybody that's hitting up a regional this weekend, I hope you all have a great time, and I hope both regionals have a nice bathroom.
Yes.
And please, if you're going to a regional, post online about it. Give us some updates. You got people at home that would love to follow along and see how everybody's doing. And I think next week we'll all have to shame TGO if he doesn't attend his this weekend.
You can shame me all you want. I got other things to do.
All right.
I gotta.
Well, that's
I
gonna
gotta
do it for
start.
episode 13. I will sign off here, TGO. Hope you have a great weekend.
I will.
And stay on. I'm going to call you right back.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.